Another week, FA Nation, another fantasy football stock watch for all of you as we're through week 9 for the most part of the fantasy football season. Let's go over some trendy players around the National Football League in relation to fantasy football when it comes to their production potential. It is the latest fantasy football stock watch. First, let's start with players on the upswing, shall we? James Conner. Conner is the only active player with 10 rushing touchdowns, the other being Derrick Henry, who isn't active right now. While overall Conner has had fewer carries than some of the other touchdown rushing leaders in the league, he continues to punch in scores. He's rushed in 2 in back-to-back weeks. Circumstances have also changed in Arizona because Conner's running back mate Chase Edmonds is reportedly dealing with a high ankle sprain, and that could take multiple weeks to heal up as they tend to be more severe than low ankle sprains. Conner received 21 carries on Sunday, and he could start seeing 15-plus carries per game steadily for the next few matchups. He also caught 5 passes for 77 yards with a touchdown. And with Edmonds' sideline, who's caught 3 or more passes in 7 games this year, Conner could see some more action in the Cardinals' passing attack. Up next on the rise, Hunter Renfrow. Renfrow received a 19.2% target share for the season, and that's bound to go up a bit more with Henry Ruggs off the team. He's received at least 20% of the Raiders' targets in 4 of his last 5 matchups, and only 32 other players have received more targets than Renfrow thus far. In PPR, he's produced double figures every week except for one. He and Darren Waller are fed targets pretty evenly. Final player on the rise, Jimmy Garoppolo. He's healthy and has thrown for over 320 yards in his last 2 matchups. Up next are the Rams, which won't be the easiest matchup, but after Week 10, the 49ers have an excellent schedule to end the year, meaning Garoppolo is more of a long-term investment for those in Superflex or 2 QB leagues. By the fantasy playoffs, contenders may even need him for a spot start depending on their QB situation in 1 quarterback leagues. The 49ers are getting healthier and healthier as George Kittle is back in action and had an impressive Week 9. And all of a sudden, Brandon Ayuk is being fed more targets, and he's succeeding too. Now for players trending down. Can you believe it? Patrick Mahomes. The Raiders are up next in the schedule, and they have been tougher for quarterbacks to battle, and it won't be the easiest matchup for Mahomes. What's going on with this guy? The Chiefs' defensive issues have kept Mahomes throwing a lot, but he's completed under 60% of his passes in 2 of his last 3 contests. Mahomes has thrown interceptions in every game except for 2 of them, and he hasn't thrown 3 touchdown passes since Week 4 against Philadelphia. While he only turned the ball over twice by fumbling, he has fumbled 5 times in his last 5 games. He's only thrown for over 300 yards 1 time in his last 7 games. Yikes. Up next, Mike Williams. It has certainly been an up and down season for Williams, as we thought after Week 3 when he was catching touchdown after touchdown, it would be roses, but then Week 4 showed up, and since then Williams has caught more than 2 passes just once. There will be certain games in which Austin Eckler will really eat into the targets, and then others like Sunday when Williams is the second most targeted option, but that won't necessarily translate to success. Williams sees an average of 20.6% of the Chargers' targets for the season and has received 14% or more just once in his last 5 matchups. Final faller, DJ Moore. This goes without saying if Sam Darnold was in both sections of the stock watch this year, but because of Darnold's throwing issues and now injured shoulder, it could be PJ Walker under center for the Panthers. Yeesh. Robbie Anderson has sucked all year, and Moore has only caught 3 touchdown passes. He hasn't caught a touchdown pass since Week 4, and after catching 6 or more passes in his first 4 weeks of the season, Moore has caught 6 balls just once since Week 5. He's received double-digit targets twice in his last 5 games, and with Christian McCaffrey back in action, the Panthers will need to heavily rely on him so they don't carelessly turn the ball over. That is another edition of the Fantasy Football Stock Watch, FA Nation. Stocks are always rising and falling, but keep it locked in because greed is never good. Always focus on your teams. No rest for the winners.